congratulations on the show, on the special. I keep joking with the cast about doing the classic British sort of special of taking it abroad. Was there ever any fear of falling into that sort of stereotype of, you know, we're taking it to the sunshine kind of
Yes,
thing?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so with Abi Morgan in charge of writing it. I mean, but what it does do is it gives the characters the excuse to spend day and night with each other for a few days, which, of course, as we all know, when you have a busy life in the UK and you're all running around and you're going back to your homes every night, you're not quite as thrown together. But yeah, no, I don't think um, the creatives and the powers that be behind this show, as I think you can see from how clever and brilliant the first few series were, they know what they're doing. So we were in safe hands.
Yeah. Was it weird to sort of be asked to come back thinking you were done with that character?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird and it wasn't weird because it's like putting on a pair of old shoes. You feel very comfortable in them. We know each other so well. We do feel like a family now because it took a few years, even though we did 3 series, it took a while because of COVID and all sorts of other reasons. It wasn't like we knocked them out one after the other. We've been working together for a while, and you just know in this business, if something's a very big hit, which this was, it's very difficult to resist the temptation to come back and do some more because people really want to watch it, and the BBC really want to make it. And you know, not everything in your career, if you work in television, goes that way.
Mm.
Often things are cancelled or they never make it or they're put out and they're not very well received. So when you have a really big blockbuster hit like this, it's not surprising that um, people want you back. What needs to happen, of course, is there has to be a genuinely good reason to get everyone back and a genuinely good idea.
Mm.
And again, you can trust Abi Morgan to have that idea and to know if it's worth doing or not.
Nathan is slightly different in this. He's got his handful and kind of unexpectedly, you bring a lot of humor to that character, the way he is right now. Talk me through that.
Yeah, his life's in turmoil because he's suddenly starting again with a new family. I mean, here he is. His eldest daughter is getting married. His two other children with Hannah are off traveling in Southeast Asia, and yet he's got two babies at home and a new wife. It's it's his whole life's been turned upside down, and I think there's a lot of insecurity that comes with that. Is he making the right decision? Is he up to it? Has he got enough energy to go through the whole process of having a family and bringing them up and all of that entails all over again? Has he made the right decision? So you find him a bit overwhelmed, I think. Um, and it manifests itself in all sorts of ways. He's, not least in the fact that he's decided to wear an earring. Uh,
That's funny.
as me personally, Stephen Mangan was not happy with, but I can understand that, the poor man he's just insecure and in turmoil, and he's trying to keep pace with his own life, which is in danger of running away from him.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, he's in an interesting place when we start.
Yeah. I was chatting to Nicola earlier, and we were talking about you as also who you also write, and it was like we know that you are the master of ad libs. Was there any temptation to? Was there any scope for you, sort of from Abby, to like do whatever you want
Yeah,
in some? Yeah.
yeah. Abby is um, yes, occasionally gave me very specific instructions, like you are allowed to just make up whatever you want at this point. No one else is, but you can. I mean, the great thing about filming is that if it doesn't work, you can always just leave it on the editing floor. But yeah, occasionally I would read a line and maybe say, "What about saying this instead?" I mean, you can always normally do that with writers and with directors. You can make suggestions. They're very happy to say, "Thanks for your suggestion," but no. But I look at it, my job as an actor is to come up with ideas about how scenes are played, about whether occasionally there's the odd thing that can be changed in the dialogue. And it doesn't have to happen very often with Abi at all, because everything is so brilliant already. But that's my job, is to come up with ideas, come up with surprising ways of doing things, and then be told, give it a go, or no, Stephen, that's a terrible idea. Go back to what.
Is it more comfortable doing that because you know Abi very well and because you've worked with her in the past? Do you think you'd feel a bit more sort of wary of doing that with someone new you're working with?
I mean, every job you do, there's a different vibe on set. I mean, some actors and writers are like, oh, don't worry about the dialogue, just come up with something vaguely similar, and that's fine. Others, if you change a comma to a semicolon, will uh, be round and saying, every others, they want every word to the letter as written. So it depends who you're working with. But I think if you were ever on set and you were coming up with ideas, a good set, a good creative team will always encourage that, and know how to deal with it, know how to put a lid on it if there's just too many bad ideas that are taking up too much time, but also know when an idea is good and is worth exploring. So, you try and put yourself in situations and work with people who are secure enough and smart enough to create the right atmosphere and not make it feel intimidating. You want people to have a stake in what's going on. And the lovely thing about the split is we all love it and we all want it to be as good as it possibly can be. So that's what we try and do.
The special puts Hannah's character in like that forefront of everything, or puts mostly the female characters at forefront of everything. Is it important for you to sort of let that show, and by being slightly more self-effacing for you as a male actor?
Yeah, I mean, most TV shows for decades have been so centered around male lead characters that it shouldn't be an issue now if a series concentrates on the female characters, but it still slightly is. I mean, the fact that you've mentioned it shows that it's not as common as it should be. So, um, yeah, I don't, I don't know. You got to applaud the fact that this is. I mean, it's written by a woman, directed by a woman, produced by women, starring women mostly, apart from maybe Toby and myself. Um, it shouldn't be an issue, but yeah, it still is unusual enough to be noteworthy, and that's weird, really. And yeah, I mean, I knew exactly what I was signing up for when we started the show. I knew that they were going to focus on the women. It's a show about a married couple, but the sisters and the mother and their work life together. And I knew that I was the show was not all about me. It's not really all about any one person, although, as you say, this special does concentrate on Nicola's story a little bit more. But yeah, I'm happy because you're making good stuff that's rich and interesting and funny and moving. So they're the things you want to be involved in, rather than a show that's all about me and that isn't very good.
You mentioned Toby there. What was it like working, finding yourself? Because he's new to the series, obviously, isn't it? A brand new character. What was it fun just to sort of? Had you worked with him before?
Never worked with him, never worked with Toby before. We'd met each other and I'd spoken to him socially on many occasions.
Mm.
But I was delighted to have him along because he's just very easy company and he's very good. And it can't have been easy for him to come along into this group that's known each other for quite a while now and have worked together so closely and get on so well. But um, I like to think we made him very welcome, and it was a treat. Yeah, he's brilliant in it.
Mm. Let's go back to the Barcelona side of things. What was it like filming in the sunshine and sort of?
It was awful, awful. Barcelona for a month in May. I mean, we did our best, but yeah, I mean, goodness sake, it's one of the great cities of the world, isn't it? Um, and of course, when you're filming away from home, you're not all vanishing at the end of every day back to your, your families. You are all we were staying in a sort of an apartment block together. So yeah, it was fantastic. And I would go running in the hills behind Barcelona and just exploring that city, the food and the bars and the culture. It was a treat. I mean, how lucky are we?
Yeah. Was there any talk of at all bringing this back for a fourth series? And would you be up for being in it?
I love this show. I don't know. I've not heard. I mean, actors are always the last ones to know. These decisions are made in shadowy, smoke-filled rooms by powerful TV moguls who, who control our lives. We are puppets. We are puppets, and we are pawns in their mighty game. So who knows? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I love doing
Yeah.
this show. So you wouldn't have much
You
of a
know
struggle.
what I really love about this show is that everyone is age appropriate, like the actors actually playing their own age, and we don't often see that, and it's quite annoying and very sort of, not just the women, the men as well. I just feel like you guys
Well,
got this right.
wait till we do the prequel and we're all de-aged. Me and Nicola Walker made to look like we're 18
Yeah.
and we do the origin story. That would
So
be.
the Irishman, you've seen the Irishman, the Scorsese where everyone is de-aged and it
Yeah,
looks
well,
really good.
Tom Hanks has just done a film, hasn't he, where they're all de-aged in that. Yeah.
Yeah. But Tom Hanks, his sons look like him. Why not just, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!